You are one bad financial decision away from a completely different life. And I don't mean that as a scare tactic. I mean that as someone who has watched people lose everything, not because they were careless, not because they were unintelligent, but because nobody ever sat them down and told them the truth about money before it was too late. So today, that changes, right here, right now, for you. Let's start with something uncomfortable. Most people are not broke because they don't earn enough. Most people are struggling because of invisible leaks, silent mistakes happening in the background of their financial life every single month, draining them slowly while they wonder why they never seem to get ahead no matter how hard they work. You know that feeling? You get paid. You feel briefly okay. Then somehow, before the month is even over, that money is just gone. And you're sitting there, staring at your bank account thinking, where did it all go? That feeling is not a coincidence. It's a pattern. And patterns can be broken. But here's the thing, and this is important. Breaking a pattern requires knowing what the pattern actually is. Most people skip that step. They try to save more, hustle harder, cut back on coffee, and still end up in the exact same place 12 months later. That's not a discipline problem. That's a knowledge problem. And knowledge is exactly what we're fixing today. Now, before we go any further, if you're already doing the right things with money, if you have a solid plan, a growing savings account, investments working for you while you sleep, this video might not be for you. But if you've ever felt like money just doesn't stick, like you're running on a treadmill and getting nowhere, stay with me. Because what I'm about to share could genuinely change the trajectory of your life. And if you're serious about going even deeper, we do have related programs linked down below in the video description. People who have gone through them have experienced real, dramatic shifts in how they manage, grow, and think about money. But I'll come back to that. Right now, let's get into the mistakes. The first mistake is the one that destroys more financial futures than almost anything else. It's living without a spending plan. Not a budget in the old school, restrictive, miserable sense. A spending plan. There's a difference. A budget feels like punishment, a spending plan feels like control, and control is the foundation of everything. Here's what happens without one. You tell yourself you'll be more careful this month, and you mean it. You genuinely mean it. But without a clear structure, you make dozens of tiny decisions every day, based on how you feel in that moment, not based on where you want to be in 5 years. And feelings are expensive. Feelings will drain your bank account and leave you wondering why you feel stuck. The people who escape financial struggle are not necessarily the ones making six figures. Many of them are regular earners who simply decided to tell their money where to go instead of wondering where it went. That single shift from passive to intentional changes everything. The second mistake is one that feels completely invisible until it destroys you. It's carrying high-interest debt and treating it like it's normal. Because here's what nobody talks about loudly enough. High-interest debt is not just debt. It's a machine that works against you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. While you're sleeping, while you're working, while you're trying to build something better for yourself, that interest is quietly undoing it all. Think about this. Someone carries a balance with high interest for 5 years. They pay the minimum every month. They think they're handling it. But at the end of those 5 years, they might have paid back double, sometimes more than what they originally owed, and they're still in debt. That is not managing debt. That is feeding a machine that keeps you trapped. The moment you see high-interest debt not as something to maintain but as a fire to put out, everything changes. The third mistake hits differently because it feels responsible. It's keeping all your money in a regular savings account and calling it financial security. And here is where people get emotionally attached to the idea of safety in a way that actually costs them enormously. Inflation is real, it is constant, and it is quietly reducing the purchasing power of every dollar sitting stagnant in a low-yield account. So while you think you're being safe, the math is working against you. The money you save today will buy less tomorrow. And the difference between people who build wealth and people who stay stuck is not luck. It's that one group makes their money work, the other group just stores it and hopes for the best. The fourth mistake is one that people don't even realize they're making until they're in their 40s or 50s and the reality hits them like a wall. They haven't started building for the future soon enough. And I'm not pointing fingers. Life gets in the way. Bills are real. Responsibilities are real. But here's the brutal truth about time and money. Every year you wait costs you more than the year before. The people who started early didn't necessarily start with a lot. Many of them started with small amounts. But time compounded those small amounts into something that changed their entire financial future. And the people who waited, they now need significantly more money, significantly sooner, just to reach the same place. That is the cost of delay, and it is steep. The fifth mistake is emotional spending. And this one is deeply personal, so I want you to really sit with it. You've had a hard week. You're stressed, you're exhausted, you're maybe a little defeated. And something in you says, I deserve this. And so you spend. on something you didn't plan for, something that feels good in the moment, something that costs you not just money but momentum. Because every unplanned, emotion-driven purchase is a vote against your future self. And your future self is counting on you to make better choices today. This doesn't mean you can never enjoy life. It means you get to enjoy it intentionally, not as a reaction to pain. Now here's what changes when you actually fix these things. And I want you to picture this clearly. You wake up one morning and you check your bank account not out of anxiety but out of habit. Because you know what's there. You know what's coming in and what's going out. You have no high-interest debt chasing you. Your money is growing while you're not looking. You have a cushion that makes you feel for the first time genuinely secure. Not just financially but emotionally. The weight that you've been carrying, that constant low-level financial stress that lives in the back of your mind, it's gone. That is not a fantasy. That is the result of fixing the right things in the right order. The people who live that reality didn't stumble into it. They got serious. They got educated. They took action before they felt completely ready. And they started with the basics, which is exactly what we've been talking about today. Now here's the moment where I want to speak to you directly. Not the crowd, you. If you've been nodding along to this video, if any part of this has felt like someone finally said out loud what you've been privately feeling, don't let that feeling fade, because that feeling is clarity. And clarity without action becomes regret. We have related programs linked down below in the video description. These are not for people who are comfortable with where they are. These are for people who are done waiting, done hoping, done watching others move forward while they stay stuck. The people who have used these programs have transformed their relationship with money in ways they never thought possible. Some started with practically nothing and built real lasting financial stability. But here's what I know about human psychology. Most people will watch this video, feel motivated for a few hours, and then go back to doing exactly what they've always done. And their life will stay exactly as it is. The ones who change are the ones who move while the motivation is still alive. They don't wait for perfect timing, because perfect timing doesn't exist. The description is right below you. The resources are there. The only question is whether you're going to use them or scroll past them and wonder, months from now, what would have happened if you had.